So I get asked all the time, what's the right email marketing platform for me to use? Which one should I use for my business? And to be honest, depending on what business you've got, it really depends and it really determines what email marketing system you should be using. But there's 6 systems that I use very frequently. There's hundreds on the market, but these 6 are the ones that I most often recommend because they're the easiest to use. They're the most developed systems. They've got the biggest user base, the best help system, helps and supports. And really, for what they're built for, they're very specifically built for whatever that is. So, ActiveCampaign is ideal for you if you've got a small business, if you've got a service-based business, if you've got a local business, or if you're a consultant or a coach that just wants to automate a few things. ActiveCampaign is going to be the right software for you. Now, a lot of you may be using Mailchimp or Aweber or ConvertKit or something like that. They're okay, but I've used Mailchimp a lot in the past, and I've used all those other platforms in the past as well. Because they have a smaller user base, they're generally not as developed. They're not as advanced. They're very limited in what they can do. If all you want to do is just upload a list of your customers or your leads and send out campaigns to them, then Mailchimp is a great system to do that. And that's kind of where I leave it. Mailchimp's really poor at automating things, has a very basic automation builder, nowhere near what you can do in ActiveCampaign. And really, it's not very good for integration into other apps as well. So Mailchimp's great if you just want to send campaigns to a list of users, but if you want to start automating your business processes and really start to build out a sales funnel, that's when ActiveCampaign really excels, and it's going to really help you build that for your system. Now, another couple of reasons why ActiveCampaign is really good for coaches and consultants and small businesses is because it's got a basic CRM system built into it. And that means that you don't need to get another app and learn another app. You've got it all in one place. They've got a great phone app for it. They've got a great Gmail extension that you can use. And really, it's got everything that you need if you're a coach, a consultant, a small business, a local service business, or someone providing some sort of service online, like a freelancer like myself. It's a great system for that. Mailchimp, great for sending newsletters and campaigns, terrible at automation, and pretty mediocre for e-commerce. ActiveCampaign have just really started to get serious about e-commerce. I still don't recommend it for e-commerce. If you've got an e-commerce store, such as Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, then Klavio is certainly the email marketing system for you. It's designed specifically for e-commerce, and the whole platform is tailored around e-commerce. And so they're one of the few that have the ability to send transactional emails as well as promotional emails and keep those two separate, so that even if someone unsubscribes from your email list, you can still send them the transactional emails and they'll receive them. So Klavio allows you to do that. It also has much deeper data integrations into Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, all those major e-commerce platforms. There's a few caveats here though, because if you've got a bit of a hybrid model where you have an e-commerce store, but then you also need to have a bit of a manual follow-up process because maybe you're selling a product that's a bit pricey, $1,000, $5,000, and there's a bit of a follow-up from your sales team. That's sometimes when I would be considering using ActiveCampaign instead of Klavio, because they've got that CRM functionality, whereas Klavio don't have that CRM at all. Klavio is really good for e-commerce stores that they're a couple $100 for a product or less, and it's a really transactional or e-commerce events-based system. That's Klavio. And with this, you'll be able to pull in pretty much anything from the products that they've purchased, all the products they've purchased in the past, all the ones that they've visited on the website, and you can do a lot in Klavio for e-commerce. It's really well worth the price, and it is a little bit more expensive than ActiveCampaign and certainly more than Mailchimp. Now, if you've got a custom-built e-commerce store or a custom-built app that you want to integrate and you've got a really large list, then Customer.io is my go-to choice. It's only really recommendable if you've got a fairly large team and if you've got a large email list. If you're just starting out, you've just built a website, you just built an app, whatever it is, I don't recommend Customer IO because you need to have developers on your team to use it to its full advantage. It needs to be integrated into a database such as segment.io. It requires a lot more work to set up and to maintain. And Customer IO expect you and your developers to actually manage the system a lot more. So you need to manage your bounces, you need to manage your unsubscribes, you need to manage all those things that a lot of these other systems, they'll do it for you. You also need to manage your deliverability, your authentication. All of that needs to be done by your team when you're using Customer IO. Now, having said that, it's really cheap if you've got a big list, but price isn't everything. And I've got clients on Customer IO that have got millions of people in their subscriber list, and it's only costing them, a couple hundred or $1,000 a month, something like that. So it's very affordable for large lists, but it does require developers, does take a lot of time and resources to set up. So I don't recommend it for everyone. And if there are any issues, it's a lot harder to troubleshoot because you have to work through those issues with a developer or a separate team to get those sorted. So it's something I recommend, but in special circumstances, such as if you had a custom built e-commerce store. Now, if you do have an app that you've built, then Intercom is my go-to system for people that have got apps or where they've got a website with like a login sort of members area. That's also a good use case for Intercom. But generally when it excels is with online-based apps, cloud-based apps. Now, you also do need a developer on hand for using Intercom to its fullest ability because you need to be able to code in some events if your app doesn't have those already. And you need to be able to send those to Intercom to get all the data and to really create those segments for your user base. It's really good because it allows you to show site messages, allows you to do new feature tutorials, all sorts of things that are really handy for apps, online apps. Now, it's no good if you've got a small business because you're not going to be able to use 9/10 of the features. It's no good if you're an e-commerce store because it's really just not built for that. And it's no good if you're a coach or a consultant because it's just not built for your type of business. But if you've got an app and you want to support your users and really track their engagement and bring them back to the app, Intercom is really great for that. Now, it does have some limitations in that because it does so much in Intercom, there are limitations in like the email builder is not terribly useful. It's not very easy to build complex emails. You have to build fairly simple emails there. And there's a few other limitations in their software as well. But if you've got an app, Intercom's certainly well worth the price, and it is quite expensive if you've got a lot of users. Now, the last system that I use regularly is Mailshake. And Mailshake is fantastic if you've got a cold email list that you want to email, that you want to do an outreach campaign to. So what I mean by that is you've scraped together a list of contacts, and now you want to email them and try to get them to your website or to buy a product or to schedule a call with you. Now, you can only do this with B2B legally. You can't do it B2C. That's very illegal in all countries around the world. But B2B, this sort of outreach, found you on LinkedIn, wanted to introduce myself type thing, it's okay for B2B as long as you do it smart. You don't want to really haggle people every hour of every day to try and get that call. If they're interested, they're going to schedule a call. If they're not, they're not. So Mailshake is a great system to do that. It piggybanks off of G Suite and Gmail. So you basically set up a G Suite account under any domain, or you use an existing Gmail account, and then you send your emails through those mail servers. And Mailshake's really just a scheduling and a tracking system. So it's a really good system for that. Now, you can't use scraped email addresses in ActiveCampaign, Mailchimp, Klavio, Customer IO, or Intercom. you can only use scraped email addresses in Mailshake. And having said that, even when they're scraped, you need to run them through a cleaner to get rid of all the hard bounces, try and get rid of the honeypots, and any other sort of soft bounces as well. And then you need to run them through the campaigns and warm up your domain as well. It's a very important part of Mailshake. So you start sending very slowly, and then you build up to a couple hundred emails a day, and then maybe move up to 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day, that sort of thing. You certainly don't send 2,000 emails a day straight off the bat. And if you're planning to send 20,000, 50,000, etc. per day, then you really have to have multiple email accounts and really send those emails from those multiple email accounts. And it can get a little bit complicated there, but it's the best way to do your outreach that I've found to get a consistently high open rate and a high click rate. And the open rates here for an outreach, you're looking at generally anywhere from 20 to 40, sometimes 50%, depending on the list quality. And then the click rates, you could get up to about 5, 6, I've even seen 12% on a click rate for a good campaign. And that's really good for an outreach campaign, because these people have never heard of you before. You're just emailing them out of the blue, trying to get them to take an action. So if you design it well, Mailshake will work really well for an outreach system. So they're the 6 email marketing platforms that I use and recommend regularly. ActiveCampaign is by far my favorite because it's the most customizable, it's the most robust, it's the most well built, and it's the one that fits most businesses that I work with. So if you're looking to find out more about any of these systems, or you want someone to help you set them up, then I look forward to talking with you, and feel free to schedule a free call with me to find out more.
Hi, I'm Mitch Bayless, and if you're looking for someone to help you with your business automation, then click the button below to schedule your free call today. And if you found this video useful, remember to click like, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos.